and welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's NXT, the go-home show ahead of NXT Deadline.
Just strong as usual, guys. Just strong as usual. We democratically tried to decide who was the cooker of the year last year, but we should have done it every week on every review, because every week Shawn Michaels reminds you why it's him. Yeah. It doesn't matter what those in the wrestling community, as we tried to fairly and evenly poll yesterday, just watch his show. It's HBK. This was great again.
Where is the line? Stupid, delightfully stupid. There was some action that actually bordered on the exciting. I can't wait for next week.
Is genuinely what the hell is going on with the attack? Where's that rank against Daredevil right now in terms of interest, payoff, reveals?
Well, the worrying thing for AEW is that I would describe it as on par.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would kind of describe it as on par. I'll bury AEW later. Today we talk NXT, and I'll do so, quenching my thirst, with a beautiful, large Biscoff latte from Good Brews. And I just want to say, you know who you are. Thank you very much.
There you go. Let's get into this show, because I was bounding into work, as I always do, but twice as much when it comes to NXT days. As I said, go-home show ahead of NXT Deadline, final qualifiers for the NXT, and that's what opened the show. It was Thea Hale, Roxanne Perez, Kiana James, and Fallon Henley in a four-way, four losers, to see who joins the lineup for the Iron Survivor match.
For the what?
Yeah, in Survivor. Sorry, the greatest new match type in recent years.
That's Anarchy in the Arena.
Obviously,
it really winds me up, earnestly, that you think Iron Survivor is better than Anarchy in the Arena.
It's better. I prefer it.
Come on, fair's fair. This weekend's the real test. This is the second year of the stipulation. If it's somehow better than the first in the way that Anarchy in the Arena wasn't, objective evidence.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Agreed.
Not at all.
Obviously, Perez and James got a lot of history together, and actually before the match started, we saw them having a row at the PC. Nice that they've got a Christmas tree up there. A little festive performance centre. I like that. And we also see the women's champion, Lyra Valkyria, watching, while Tatum Paxley peeks in the background. More on her later. Obviously, immediately, Perez goes after Kiana James, drops her to the floor, and then there's the three of them doing a test of strength and some roll-ups and what have you. We go to a break after Henley hits a suicide dive but gets dropped by Kiana James on the outside. When we come back, Perez has been, she'd been hit with a handbag shot at some point during here. She's still selling that. Kiana James in control. There's a Tower of Doom with Hale at the top of it, taking the worst of it. Perez crossbodies Kiana James, goes for pop rocks, that gets broken up. James gets knocked to the floor by Perez again, and they fight. They've cleared the announce table. They fight on the barricade, and they eventually both fall, crashing through the table. That leaves Henley and Hale. Hale goes for an O'Connor roll. Henley kicks out. Shining Wizard, 1, 2, 3. Fallon Henley qualifies for the NXT.
Not half bad. The Roxanne Perez, Kiana James rivalry felt real. And the fact that obviously they've got the cage match. It's this Roxanne Perez thing. I don't really feel like she's spinning her wheels in NXT, but they're trying to make it that she's not, and that these blood feuds mean anything. But I bought it a little bit here, so I wasn't really surprised when it became clear she wasn't going to win. Basically,
she's not missing off the card, I suppose.
No, that's it. They've got their cage match. I thought all of that felt relatively earned. And Fallon Henley, we probably talk so much about the stories that Fallon Henley's been involved with. There's not a lot of discussion on her in-ring, and she's been kicking around longer than people realise. She was doing stuff in dailies back in the pandemic for AEW, and like there's just not a lot of in-ring typically to analyse with Fallon Henley, but I thought the exchanges with Thea Hill were pretty good.
I wasn't blown away, but I thought this, without being a great classic match or anything, was tight, dramatic, and exciting. Thought everyone was in position more often than not for these, like, you could almost, this is probably too, highfalutin a word, but quite like relentless.
Yeah.
Like bang, 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 roll up, pin attempt, save, reversal, counter. It's just breathless adjacent action from Shawn Michaels, NXT, and everyone involved. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, I don't really echo my colleagues' sentiments about believing Roxanne Perez. Like, I don't think she's got anything approaching range yet, which is fine. This is what NXT functions to do. It's a proving ground. It's training. It's developmental. It is whatever. Like, great, like precocious as the scrappy underdog when she has to be, like, grudge feud, not the underdog. I know she's got this look that, and I think it verges on obnoxious for me. She doesn't feel like this vengeful, ass-kicking baby face. It's more like, I don't know, there's just something about the facial expressions that I don't really buy.
I get that. I think, I've felt this rivalry has been a little fake feeling, but I liked it within this match. I think maybe it's part of the arrangement of the match. We criticised the second fall in particular of the 2 out of 3 falls match on Raw for not having anywhere near of the logic and urgency it should have had. These were in a race to get this win, and the two of them sort of got lost within it, and that's more than Roxanne Perez's individual performance. I just thought the match was the perfect setting for their thing. We'll see, I guess, because a cage match is a big test in both. Like how there's no blood, like it's an NXT cage match, which typically, like, I wouldn't go as far as say rich history, but there's been some pretty good ones. Like there's an expectation on these takeovers. The match quality expectation is much higher. People do tune in for these now and expect like 3+ star average. So we'll see what they've got.
Yeah, really excited to see that. And Jensen, what's the song Jensen came out to on Level Up again?
Separate Ways by Jen. I give you love, and if you must go, I give you love. I love it, man.
What if they just go, bollocks, let's splash out on the songs. Fallon Henley, because she comes out with that bar towel on. What if she gets closing time?
Closing time.
I know who I home and home and home.
We get some TikTok stuff. I don't understand it. From the Alpha Academy and Metaphor. They're better than each other, and they'll settle it later.
Piss poor comedy.
Yeah.
Lyra Valkyrie's getting interviewed backstage, but before she can really get anywhere, Lola Vice shows up with Elektra Lopez and reminds us about the breakout tournament contract, which is effectively now Money in the Bank.
Sounds that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't remember it being like that in the past. I thought it was always like, I'd like to request a match. But now apparently she can just go out there and go.
I think that was it. It was not even so much like to request a match. It's right, your time is here. You're going to be booked against the champion next week or whatever.
Yeah, what did Waller do? Because he had it, didn't he?
He was given the shot against Braun Breaker at the next.
It's in advance, I think.
Special.
It's in advance.
Yeah, it's not a cash-in type thing, but it's sounding like they can just take advantage of the champion whenever they want to.
But Tatum Paxley's there twirling bird person's feathers. I'll fight you tonight, my pretty. Sets up a match for later.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it went.
Yeah.
I didn't like what happened next.
Oh, what?
I felt bad for Wes Lee.
Oh, right, okay.
Awful. They're like, Vic Joseph's like, here comes Wes Lee. Oh, and he sees he's got a crutch and what have you. He comes out and he's genuinely devastated, obviously. He said he was looking forward to fighting and beating Dirty Dom on Saturday. Thanks all the fans for their support. But he says it's not going to help him now. Talks about not having feeling in his legs, the excruciating pain he feels just standing in the ring. He's going to have to go off and have surgery. Tears in his eyes. Doesn't know when he's going to come back. I think they said later on it was like 8 to 10 months he's going to be out for. Rough stuff. Get well soon, Wes Lee. He says, just as I rose from the ashes before to become one of the best champions in NXT, I'll do it again. This isn't goodbye for now. I'll see you later. And then, of course, out comes Dirty Dom to really rub it in. He says, look, everyone, Wes is going home again. He says, look, I don't doubt you need back surgery. You can barely stand with that crutch there. Imagine how I feel carrying everything on my back for the last 2 years.
Pretty good.
I mean, that's good. That is good.
Heat.
Yeah. He says, well, you're off for another year recovering, and you're going to be sitting out with all the rest of these losers, basically. Watch what I do with the title. And I guess that means on Saturday, I've got the night off to chill with Memmy. And Wes goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, that's not happening. You haven't got a match for me, but you'll still be competing. Take it from someone who's related to you. It's Ray, who appears on the Tron and says, you're going to defend a North American title at NXT Deadline. And the person you're facing has the surname Lee, but it's not Wes. He didn't say this, but it's Dragon Lee, who he's going to be facing.
Dragon Lee.
The future of Lucha Libre, not his brother, Brocco. And Dragon comes out. Dom's furious.
So am I.
And they get into it, and he gets Dom up for a powerbomb. He bails out of there, and jaw jack, etc. That's going to be a great match.
Dragon Lee might win that.
Yeah.
That was his main roster launch, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Against Dom. It was quite incredible given that Dominic Mysterio was in it.
Yeah, and I think this sort of thing happened a little bit with Trick the last time, where you can do a bit of a hotshot title change, a bit of a feel-good thing out of something incredibly sad, and then Dominic...
That's how WWE tends to do these things.
Yeah, and Dominic could potentially win it back. Again, the chemistry they've had previously suggested it'd be quite a good match. Wes Lee, what a terrible situation, and a lot of heartbreaking visuals you were left with here, which makes me want to think a little bit of this was, and I hope, look, if this is not the case and he was just out there bearing his soul, felt awful and get well soon. I'd like to think there was a little bit of wrestler's instinct here, and his performance, if you can call it that, of explaining his injury and the sadness and the pain coursing through him, left something with you. And it's pro wrestling. And if he does make the recovery, this sort of element of it counts as well. And I don't know, I hope he's in better fettle than he appeared to be here. If this wasn't a shoot, and I kind of hope it wasn't, and he just knows he needs surgery, he worked the pain of it really well as well. This was really sad. This was just really, really sad to watch. And like I say, because it's wrestling and it's weird like that, that'll benefit him if and when he recovers and returns.
Yeah, there could be a pretty great video package if they track it from this man at his lowest ebb. And I don't think he was working for years. Give him an award, because Jesus Christ, if you didn't watch it, the tears were pouring from his face. So it's almost surreal watching something so real unfold against the backdrop that is NXT for all its stupidity and daft charm. I literally nothing else to say other than, Christ, that made me feel low. And he looked like he was hurting badly, and I really hope that he comes back better and sharper than ever.
He's a fantastic performer.
And it was inspired to have Dominic Mysterio come out. At the end of the day, it's a business. They have something to promote. So it was basically, they balanced it all perfectly, I would say.
Kiana's in the back. Izzy Dane comes in to check on her. She says, next time I see Roxy, I'll literally end her. Turns out again, that's a classic WWE. Roxy is about 2 feet away when she says this.
The next time I see her, you can probably see her at the corner of your eye. If I look forward like this.
Yeah.
Right. Nicholas. Yeah. That's Adam Wilborn. That's Michael Hamflet. See, you know what I mean?
It's she's facing Roxanne. For those that didn't see, the way they set the shot up, she's looking down what we find out to be a full corridor where Roxanne Perez is already there, but the camera moves to Roxanne. So the camera is actually her eyes.
Yes.
That's how we're led to...
And now apparently Ava, she hasn't got a surname, she's The Rock's daughter, is an assistant to HBK. She's like, right, I've had enough of this, I'm going to sort it. I'm going to go and see HBK. Get you a match of Deadline.
Can I have a job with you because you call my gran a... Is that how they came at that?
Maybe.
Is that how they came at that agreement?
Yeah. And then what can you say? No.
Yeah, exactly. Are we even?
Next week...
Oh, yeah!
Next week, we are getting the start of the men's NXT breakout tournament, the likes of Obafemi, Trey Bearhill, and Luca Crucifino. Yes! I love him!
You know, they might put some of these matches on a level up, of which you're an avid watcher.
Of course, yeah.
So this is gripping for Wilborn, because remember when the four pillars still had all of this potential and it was all still preserved in amber, and then it was well, underneath them is the four killers. Like, oh my God, AEW is like a sort of, not only is it giving you like everything you ever wanted in wrestling in 2021, but the next generation. And then the one after that, here's all the lines of stars. That's currently like a breakout tournament NXT for Wilborn. Don't just get excited about the main guys right now. Look at the underneath crop. Like, this
all
is
these exciting guys, and Miles Bourne's there too. He's hanging out with the boring bastards. Please don't hang out with them anymore, Miles. You're far better than that.
Yes, much better.
But yeah, it's just funny. We've got a sort of Italian lawyer doing the rounds, whilst Chase, you've got this legal issue doing the rounds. I'm just saying, just putting the pieces together subtly, as always.
Yeah.
Lola Vice, one of your favourites, Sige, taking on Tatum Paxley. Lola takes control early on, but then Tatum's working this sort of contortion, twisted style. In the end, Lola Vice is in control. Hip attack. But actually, Paxley came back.
Just get good at wrestling and not contortionism, and you might win a match. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
being consumed and corrupted by our own weirdness.
Yes.
She took over, Paxley did, not due to contortionism or whatever, but by throwing Lola Vice throat first into the ropes and hitting a spine buster.
Yeah.
In the end, though, another hip attack from Lola Vice, and the spin roundhouse kick to the head gets Lola Vice the 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Weird in parts.
It's a strange way to get this new gimmick over. Where
I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, like obviously
Lose your first match.
like because you've gone really creepy and cryptid. Like, well, these things don't work, so stop doing them.
Yeah,
it's
just
the reverse JC Jane.
Yes.
We see footage. This was announced on socials after we did the preview yesterday. Oh, God, hang on 1 second.
Okay.
There's a lot's going on here. We see post match with Ilya Dragunov. There's Axiom. Comes up to check on Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
To say, tough night. Nathan's like, oh, yeah, but you should see the other guy.
God, he's the biggest dork in the world, and that's me saying that.
And he says, Axiom's
He's going to speed it. What did you just say, buddy?
maybe you need this. And he offers him a mask. And Nathan's like, I don't need that mask. Why don't we have a bare knuckle fight then? Axiom's like, all right. And then they say, well, let's beat the crap out of each other. Okay. And then they make the match for later.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's what happened, and something else didn't happen. Match.
Yeah. We get it on the kickoff, though, for NXT Deadline.
I'll
So
be
you have to tune in
certainly
now.
watching that.
You need to put those buttons next to each other. Axiom and Nathan Fraser together.
Yes.
All the time.
It's a good point.
This is unbelievable, this. Thanks again.
Yeah, if you want a coffee, go to Good Brews. That really is a...
Oh! Teachable moment! Teachable moment!
Yeah, I don't know why it's a teachable moment. It's a large lie.
The button was there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Yeah, if you really want a good coffee, well, that's you do.
I don't know what we're doing here.
I'm saying, I want you to do an improvised advert for Good Brews. If
Oh.
you really want a good cup of coffee and you've got 8 options to work with,
Then don't call Al. Call Good Brews. You can order it on their phone number in advance. So
I don't think you can.
you can.
Oh, can you? Oh, right, okay.
Let me just double check. Is it on the thing or is it on a different card? Yeah, it is. Got a little number on there. You can call. But don't call Al. Call Good Brews. That's when they thought they had me backed into a corner. Right.
That many were buttons. It's like each.
Right, moving on. Baron Corbin's asked in the parking lot about if he's worried about Ilya Dragunov, and he says, I've got him right where I want him. It's going to be so sweet to take the title from him on Saturday.
No bits.
I want to stitch them up, obviously.
Let's find out your thoughts on the latest NXT Anonymous video. This time it was... So this was just before the footage that we saw last week.
It's great. They're piecing the day together through footage from the day.
It was... So last week we saw Trick walk through a door and then walk through another door and... Well, what did Lexis King do? Creeped behind him like that. But then we saw a bit prior to that where Trick's like, yeah, Mello. He's in the changing room with him. I've been added to the 4-way match.
Yeah.
And then he walks out the door, but you also see Mello on his phone and following him out of there. So.
As if to suggest, get him now. But of course he didn't, did he? Because there's got to be a third man here. Yeah. There's got to be.
Do you reckon Carmelo Hayes might have been texting himself?
Yes.
Stick the winner.
And then, Lexus King's confused, well, that's not right, because we're all losers. He just got confused. Well, nothing for me to do. Off the spider walk. I'm just hanging out here on my throne. He actually said that. I didn't do anything. Hanging out on my throne.
What's going on with Joe Gacy?
Oh my God.
So let me get straight. 2 weeks ago, he throws his phone off the roof.
Correct.
1 week ago, he is under the ring, listening to one of the hottest matches I've ever heard in NXT.
Yeah.
And says, "Oh, I hope it goes well," or "I hope it doesn't," or whatever bollocks he's spouting. And then he steals the ring bell, gives it back for later on, but he ding, ding, ding. This week, he's in the crowd just going, Vic, we love you, Vic!
Yeah.
What's this gimmick?
His face. Sure, he's like a nice bloke, right? And he's obviously much better as a talent than NXT has, portrayed him so far. When he's doing that behind the plexiglass, I just want to die. I just want to die.
We met him a while, mate, didn't we?
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
He is crazy, though.
He's like, does this
He
all...
had Parker Boudreaux with him back then, though, didn't he?
He did. Big fan. So if you're listening. Thanks, Parker. Sorry about stuff sometimes. Is he gonna have another breakdown and become a heel off the back of it? Is there any way this ends with him being a babyface? Because none of this is likable, is it?
No.
Joe Gacy super fan? Joe Gacy, Vic Joseph Stan? What are we doing?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe he's just trying to get close
I think
to...
he's meant to be crazy.
Do you think he's trying to get close trying to get close to Vic? Because Vic's close to Booker, and Joe knows that Booker T's got a phone because he's already ordering his dinner.
Okay.
He's like, I broke my phone. I want to steal someone's phone.
Yes, yeah.
Or Joe Gacy's hurt.
He's just hungry.
Yeah,
and
yes.
he's not himself when he's hungry. I mean, it's like a really prolonged Snickers advert, and it's just like, oh, Joe Gacy, you're acting really weird, and it's off-putting.
Joe Gacy, you're acting nuts.
You're acting nuts.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Sean, you got any ideas for any of your characters and how we could reflect that they're not themselves? One of them likes Vic Joseph. Perfect.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had the 3-on-3 Alpha Academy versus Metaphor. Chad Gable, Otis, Maxine Dupri versus Noam Dar, Ura Mensah, and Lash Legend.
Noam Dar. Was
Is
the
it?
answer Noam Dar?
Dara Gable start us off.
I'm not selling that.
Gable slams Dar down. In comes Ura Mensah, gets chopped for his troubles. Arm drag into an arm bar. Dupree comes in, suplexes Legend. Otis comes in and suplexes Mensah and Dar. A big brawl on the floor to take us to a break. When we come back, Gable suplexes Dar. Otis comes in and wrecks more dudes. Mensah gets hit with an elbow. So Legend comes in and Hogan Andre slams Otis to a huge pep.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's ruled.
I love that.
Where'd this come from?
I don't know, it wasn't just the execution, they built it really quite well, and they registered it really quite well too.
Yeah. She did that remember when Randy Orton was so pleased with the RKO counter at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins that he sort of forgot to cover him for a bit. Just popping for himself.
Yeah.
That was sort of Lash there, making the most of it, yeah. But sell it, yeah. It was huge.
Was it Henry he RKO'd that time when he did the
toe touch leapfrog thing.
Woo!
Kind of babyface himself because they took the belt off Christian.
Yeah.
Raging, man. So angry about that.
Christian, that was one when he won the title via Goz, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't the end of the match, by the way.
What if Orton could do that now?
No.
Like a jacked guy like that doing a toe touch leapfrog. You'd have everything. Like Tom McGee.
Yeah.
Not quite as entertaining.
So Dupree comes in off the back of that and suplexes Legend to get a 2 count. Legend actually got knocked off the apron into Otis's arms. Dupree does a big dive onto the pile, and Gable gets Dar with an ankle lock and gets the submission victory.
Mostly a decent bit of knockabout fun. The Lash Legend stuff was great.
Yeah.
I continue to be put off by Otis. Like, he's not like a grabber, but often women find themselves in his embrace, visibly don't enjoy it, and he doesn't just go, oh, sorry.
Over-enthusiastic
Mandy Rose-
catcher. He's not a grabber.
He's an over-enthusiastic catcher, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mandy
The
Rose.
Otis character. Yes. He's a fictional characters.
It was Mandy Rose was interested in him. It was
This one
everyone else-
belongs in NXT UK.
Everyone else was telling her, "Don't go with Otis." She quite liked him.
Yeah.
Lash Legend, every opportunity, he's like, "Get away from me."
Most of these women that he catches are
Yeah.
catcher of women.
But interesting.
It's not good.
No, it is weird.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels should stop doing that.
Catcher in the eye.
Oh, bollocks. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted there because, it's this time of year. You've got ordering lots of Christmas presents.
Catcher in the eye and dropper in the other. What? What did you say?
I was just saying, I've ordered lots of Christmas presents. I've got to go and bloody sign for one of them, haven't I? So, I'll tell you what.
God's sake.
Lash Legend's one of the people in the Iron Survivor match. Why don't you just quickly give us your thoughts on that, and I'll just go and sign for this. Sorry, very unprofessional.
How's it ridiculous, that?
I
You
did.
gotta sort it out, like, earlier. You wouldn't have to have done this.
You're saying about registering, Sidge, Lash Legend, registering how difficult it was to slam Otis. She was like selling the pain after the fact, and I noticed her kind of like trying to shake off a bit.
I've got the same thing.
You've got the same-
yeah,
did
I've
you
got the
slam
same
Otis?
thing.
Is that what
No, I don't know how I've hurt it. I don't know how I've hurt this arm, but it's really, really hurts.
Still sore.
Hey, Stan, you all right?
I'm all right.
Kind of caught the wall making my entrance there, to be honest. But hey, enjoying a nice week off. Tag champ for another goddamn week.
Love
Yeah.
it, don't you?
Love it. Love the show. Hey, goddamn. What about Lash Legend slamming Otis? Huh? You see that?
Yeah, no, it's
Amazing,
fantastic. We were literally just talking about it then.
It reminded me of a guy called Hulk Hogan. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he slammed another guy called Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
I thought.
And he tore every muscle in his back, and then Andre sadly died days later.
Very next
Is
day.
that right? I did not know that.
900 pounds, Andre was.
I did hear the Hogan worked over 400 days in a year, which is pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
What's the deal with you? No, we're not doing it. What's the deal with giants, though, Sidge?
Giants, mythical creatures, or a word that describes someone who's exceptionally tall and or large. Andre, in a curious trivia note, was kind of both there. He was a giant of a man, hence why it was called Andre the Giant. And he, in fact, played an actual mythological giant in The Princess Bride, an absolutely wonderful all-timer of a motion picture.
Never seen it.
What's your favorite film star?
Godfather, gotta say,
Yeah.
might see if I can ask for the, apparently there's a trilogy of films. I might ask for that from old Santa Claus.
Maybe this is the second one.
The first one's the best one.
Yeah.
I would say by some distance, actually. But yeah, those are the deals with giants. It's either a word that would describe someone who's, not a mythological being, however, they are exceptionally tall and or large, or, or a mythological being across all sorts of genres.
Well, speaking of giants, speaking of films, actually, I was actually recommended a film about a giant crocodile with erectile dysfunction. Apparently, it's called Lake Placid.
Tell you what, I know you haven't seen many films. Lake Placid, for like this sort of B-movie adjacent creature feature, is really quite a nice watch. Just a nice 90 minutes or so.
Yeah. Loading up the Voncord with stuff for you here, Stacks.
Maybe I'll check it out after I've rewatched The Godfather again. Free questions, free jokes for you, Siggy.
Yeah.
Question joke number one. What do you call a fear of giants?
So it's something phobia.
Phobia, yeah. Do you know, wordsmith, do you know the actual word for this or not?
No, I don't. I do not know.
Because
But I'm assuming that
might have been a pun. Yeah, but there might have been a bit of like a pun in that or something.
Yeah.
A word for it.
A fear of
of
giants. So, what's the most common fear that people would know because they could recognize the punchline?
Arachnophobia, yeah. nothing's coming to mind here, Stacks.
Toffee today.
Just because we got that one yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little harder today.
Yeah.
You made the
typically
jokes, the fun harder. Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Don't know.
Sorry, Stacks.
What do you call a fear of giants? V5 phobia.
Yeah, all right. You can have that. Just.
And with that, question joke number 2. Why was the giant afraid of Jack? Picture that.
Why was the giant afraid of Jack? There's something to do with Jack in it.
I think so. It's a
Stacks
masturbation
loves,
gag
he
in
loves
this,
Jack
isn't
in
it?
it, and he loves jokes about Jack in it. Look at Stacks' face there.
Anything in the beanstalk, is it?
So what's the punchline again?
Let's
set up.
Why was the giant afraid of Jack?
Afraid of Jack.
Like, he tried to chop down his beanstalk, but with the beanstalk in this case being his massive giant cake.
Maybe.
Love you thinking that.
I think we could deliberate and confer on
Aye,
this.
we're
and I
not
just
gonna get there,
think
right?
it-
Don't know, Stacks.
No.
Why is the giant afraid of Jack? Because Jack's been stalking him. Huh? Balls with the beanstalk thing.
And the thing is, these are surprisingly like not blue jokes.
Well, stick around.
So I'm always right. Okay.
What do giants and Sidgwick's mother have in common?
Well, never met the woman. Sure,
So it's
she's wonderful.
something to do with Stax's ambition, or maybe even success at having it off with it.
That's correct, I would assume.
So what is a giant?
What's a giant?
Sidgwick's mother have in common.
I don't know.
Neville,
I
what do
see
you
the
think
situation
guess
you were in last week because, the other week where it's like, well, I can't exactly drop a guess on this one, can I?
Yeah, I know.
I ate Hamfler's mother twice. That was the joke the other week.
It sure was.
Yeah, so what's the joke this week because we can't really get it.
Good, yeah. Bit of a hospital pass, to be honest with that one. What do giants and Sidgwick's mother have in common? They both grind bones to make bread. See you later, guys.
Bye, Stacks.
Goodness for that.
Hello, mate.
Christmas
All right.
is sorted. I'm
Good.
assuming.
I'm a Stax
Yeah,
again.
Stacks popped
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
Any
in. So
jokes
was
you
he.
want to share?
So was he.
Nah.
Spend it with the Christmas with the family, Sige?
You are?
Christmas with the family, is it?
Yeah.
Be nice, yeah.
The in-laws. It's Christmas. That's what
Makes sense.
So not my immediate family. Why do you ask?
I just asking.
I mean, I'll see them at some point, I'm sure.
Got to look him in the eyes eventually.
And what I like about Christmas, of course, is that I've ripped this off from Friends, where I have the moist maker sandwich, where you have the turkey, right, and then you dip some bread in gravy, the moist maker. So I'm gonna see my mum and have some bread.
Nice. I can't eat turkey twice. Like other things, but not turkey. Gallus are in their bar next.
Skip.
This was so weird.
It's so
That's rubbish, wasn't it?
So, we were talking about this whilst we were getting our good brews earlier, in fact. This is Gallus's bar, yes?
Yep.
Surely, if you run a bar, you want business. I mean, that's what Kiana James has taught me.
Yeah. You would think.
Well,
You would
and
think.
Fallon Henley, I suppose, technically, probably
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah, she was devastated with the prospect of the bar closing, even though we only ever saw 2 customers.
Hank and Tanker are in Gallus's bar, and they're like, what are you two doing here?
We've come for a drink, you boring bastards.
And we have established that it is their bar because they were responsible for the time that there was thought to be rats in there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've established in canon this bar belongs to Gallus.
And Gallus said, you can leave through the door, you can leave through the window. I'd probably leave through the door. Window's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. One of those is not a threat, Gallus. Bye, Gallus.
Yeah, because if you're climbing through the window, like you're at risk of pulling a hamstring or like stretching your jeans. You know,
Just,
the crotch
catching
go.
you,
Yeah.
on the little...
Yeah.
The Kenny Omega V trigger over the cage. We nearly caught his
Caught detained.
But Hanks said, don't worry, we've got a proposition for you. Here's 3 beers. You know, you bloody love beer. They want to talk business. And Gal said, you got to drink these beers to tell us about it. I'd just like, you know what? Forget about it.
You're not joining our gang. We absolutely don't want to do that.
Basically.
You want to be in our gang? No. Why are you phrasing like that as well? Gallus.
Hank and Tank said.
Ask yourself that, Gallus.
Hank and Tank say they basically want to make it to the top. And to
Top of...
the top of, sorry.
Business.
Yeah.
My profession.
More on him later.
Got too many gimmicks at this
Check
point.
it out, man. I'm a spooky ghost.
I'm kind of the ghost at the feast on NXT, but there's no food, only drink. Gallus bar.
So excited to talk about him later. They say we want to face.
See those 3 Scotch guys.
They say to get to the top, we have to face top guys. And I thought, what are you doing here then? They said, oh, no one's more successful than Gallus. Which I suppose if you include NXT UK in that. Then.
But why would anyone include NXT UK in that, or indeed in anything?
I'd have to check if Wikipedia includes NXT UK in anything.
Hank and Tank are lovely men. They're like really complimentary. We want to learn from you guys. You're the most successful tag team we've got in NXT. And the boring bastards. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And so they say, oh, maybe we'll put it in your language. And they say, let's get these Bampots some haggis and watch a Glasgow Rangers game, right?
I put this through our own Google Translate and Andy Murray, and he couldn't understand what they were talking about here, so I don't think Hank and Tank did the best job.
Well, this wound up Wolfgang.
Glasgow.
30 years they've been running Glasgow.
How can you get these English things wrong?
Maybe that was part of it. I think they were trying to poke the bear, weren't they?
Scottish things. Jesus Christ.
Tickets are available at .co.uk. It's my ass.
Cilantro.
But
It's a coriander.
this winds up. This winds up Wolfgang, and Tank effectively tells him to embrace
Aluminum.
oregano,
Parmesan.
Herbs.
herbs.
H in it.
That's what the alien deals.
Hey man, you said the magic word.
Maybe those Gallus boys, I don't know if they're on top, but they're pretty high.
Anyway, Wolfgang's wound up. Basically, Tank tells him to embrace the hate, and they get a match set for next week.
If there's one thing Gallus have done in their entire careers, it's embrace hate. Have they ever done anything else?
No, they're all quite gruff and miserable. And then I've just had this nightmarish feeling flood over me by having Gallus and then a Kane catchphrase in the same sentence. Oh, God.
Terrible, that, isn't it? They're NXT's Kane and Big Show, Gallus.
Yeah.
Oh, not them. Anyone but them. Like, if there was an NXT Rumble of all your favourites, Gallus would be sent in to do the 2015 throw-out spot.
Yeah.
Von's the only person who needs explaining. Oh, you have to be tossed out and both feet have to hit the floor. Guard it.
Von's the Roman in that situation, but the crowd's going insane.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Ava, she hasn't got a surname, she's the Rock's daughter, comes out of HBK's office and says, don't worry, I've booked a steel cage match between Keanu James and Roxanne Perez.
She's across all this.
What? I'm beginning to get the impression that she's not so good at wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just so matter of fact about how she'd got this job. There's no, like, sort of... Had they done any, like, teaser weeks of her going into Shawn Michaels?
I think she did walk in the background of one the other week, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. The
Background stuff. Fair enough.
Right, we get all of the women's Iron Survivor competitors in the ring. Byron Saxton's hosting this tete, whatever they call it. Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend,
this is awful.
Blair Davenport, Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley. They all have the chance to, Saxton says, they all have the chance to explain why they're going to win the match, lays out the rules of the debate. Please don't interrupt each other.
This is so unbelievably sexist.
Yeah, it was
like if a bloke 1,000,000% wrote this, and I tell you what, if a bloke didn't write this, I will show me Arson Fenix window.
There was a tweet on the official NXT account where it was like just the image of like all of them in the line, Byron Saxton, and I think a bloke posted on X because it was just, good luck, Byron. Like, none of them were doing anything. It was just like, short straw for you, eh?
Byron Saxton literally said, like, come on, ladies, you promised not to do this.
Come on, don't talk over each other, don't hate each other, don't cause a bloody scene, you hysterical women.
Is it like, how many times have they done
Would they do that with the blokes there?
Yeah.
No, they absolutely wouldn't. Like, how many times has the segment's been broken up by just like women's fights from the locker rooms? Like, we're trying to have a bloody backstage segment here.
They just kind of control themselves.
They had a bit of this.
Cannot control themselves.
They had a bit of this impromptu with the men later, and it had possibly one of my favourite things I've ever seen in NXT. So I'm going to get to that in due course. But first up, is Tiffany Stratton.
Was the attack on Trick just a bundle of fighting women bundling through the room? He's left there.
Fought here, and
Quite
then
possibly.
fought backstage, and then fought. So they fought like into Gorilla, and they're like, "Well, thank God that's taken care of." Oh no, it's spilling back out during Axiom and Nathan Fraser.
that was what.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And that was why Lexus King was spied out. He was just so excited. He heard, "What's that noise? Sounds like sexy ladies." Gonna have to
Go,
leave.
Throne, go! Oh, it's only going sideways. Go, Gadget Throne.
It's just a series of tracks backstage for his throne. Like those interview interruption cues you used to say. There's like wrestler A, wrestler B, wrestler throne.
Get off the tracks when the throne's coming. Anyway, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton speaks first. Stops with the Sarah Universe. I'm the favorite, I'm the most talented, I'm the most athletic, even shot of flair. Sounds of future. No one else can, which no one else can say. I'm the only one in this ring who's held the title behind Tiffany, two-time champion. You all get participation trophies.
Tiffany, sorry, dead quick. We were sort of debating amongst ourselves and many of your colleagues and legends and so on who would be the 2023 Cooker of the Year between
You forgot about me.
your bosses, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Who would you go for? Thanks, Tiffany.
Complete God. Oh, Christ almighty. What am I doing with my life?
Kalani Jordan is the newest one here, one with least experience. I don't know what to expect going into the match, but who does? But none of us were in the match last year. I've got great endurance. I can go 25 minutes. Tiffany. Tiffany said, I did some gymnastics. Lash Legend speech. She says Kalani's speech was real cute. No one wants to hear her speak. Tiff isn't the most athletic. But she was looking athletic when Becky beat her for the title. Ooh. In terms of strategy, she's been hanging out with Noam Dar, who knows about multiple fall matches. It's decent logic, I suppose.
Yeah.
She's
It's
bougie.
a different genre.
She's bougie, and she's going to bully them all into a penalty box. Blair Davenport says, I'm not here to one-up everyone with one-liners. That's not my style. I don't like any of you. I don't care what you think of me. But none of them are going to come for me because they're scared I'll put them on the shelf like Nikita Lyons and Sol Ruka. And Fallon says, I get it. You don't care about anyone in the ring. Neither do I. Runs down all the...
I think this podcast might have descended into parody.
How dare you? She doesn't have any beef with Kalani, but they're both going after the same thing. She's G'd up, obviously, after winning the last chance Iron Survivor. Yep. And Tiff says, you wasted the last chance opportunity on Fallon Henley, everybody. Lash screams, saying, I know you didn't just cut me off. They start arguing. This is when Byron's like, come on, ladies.
Go on, control yourselves, women.
And Fallon
Get
says,
a hold of yourself. Surprised you didn't start, like, slapping them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get a hold of yourself.
All right.
Fallon says, well-behaved women seldom make history, so Tiff, yeehaw, bitch! And the brawl kicks off.
Yeah, that's what you said, verbatim in the voice. This is horrific. What do you want us to say about anything?
Really bad. Only would have been made worse if they were cutting the promos on like ladders like that Money in the Bank one that time.
Yeah,
or sat on
God.
penalty boxes.
Don't
Write that down for next year.
He loves that.
Yeah.
He loves that. He
Like,
absolutely
penalty box go home
loves it.
showdown.
Each personalised penalty boxes. Like Tiff's got like a pink one.
Yes, set dressed with all the character traits like that. Write that down for next year.
Yeah, let's bury the writing and the male gaze of the segment, and then what we should do is pitch a pink penalty box.
No, but everyone
small
can have their own
props.
penalty.
Tiff and
Dijak
Stratton.
can have a
Yeah.
duck
This is for
penalty
the
box as well.
both
Everyone,
matches.
you get a penalty box. You get a penalty box.
You know, Lexus King. You know, you get a throne.
Penalty throne. Got to sit on the penalty throne.
Push the thing.
Axiom.
You have to do it. I was just going to say that. Oh.
I've made a rod from my own back now. And,
Oh, the burdens of my brilliance.
and Nathan Fraser
When I'm cleaning windows.
had the potential for a great match, but then the women brawled out and it all got called off. So they're going to fight again on the kickoff. In amongst all this brawl, though, Blair Davenport's like, look at all these stupid women fighting out. And then she gets attacked by a returning Nikita Lyons, who lays her out. Great to see her back.
Oh, that's it. They're following up, aren't they? Had to be her that she had to go for. So, fine. It's not like Indy Hart was kicking her out.
No.
I'm glad Nikita Lyons is back, obviously. Horrible injury she suffered. Let's talk about me and Sidgwick's favourite part of this show. I reckon so, because it's time to go to Chase U.
Yeah, it is time.
Andre Chase is doing the special assembly, of course. He says, look, last week's news of the misuse of funds and illegal gambling have rocked this institution to its core. I want to make it clear, says Andre, the person who did all this is me. Theo's like, of course. Is it? I don't buy it.
No.
I don't buy that at all.
He says, a lapse of judgment put us in this position. Maybe trusting people he shouldn't have.
While he was off and somebody else was, handling the paperwork.
But due to the results of the investigation, Chase U is under academic probation and sanctions. Sanctions have been placed on them.
This was definitely one of them segments where they forgot it's a wrestling show.
Yes.
They're the best
Yeah.
one. The further you get away from the ring, the better these get, I think. It's Vaughn going for dinner. It's,
Any students who are enrolled after the investigation, I don't know.
The long way
Some
around
people
saying-
aren't eligible for financial aid anymore.
JC Jane, I assume, especially being the case here.
It's a good job she's earning probably a not inconsiderable salary as a professional wrestler on national television.
Otherwise, how would you pay a college fee?
Yes.
I bet
She's in...
I bet you Andre Chase wish he hadn't sacked so many students now, eh?
There
Probably
is
does.
already a place that exists to give aspiring WWE superstars and sports entertainers, right, a curriculum in how to be a good one. It's called the Performance Center.
So imagine how good it must be if you go into the college within that section.
Thea's like, sir, I think it'd be much easier for all of us to know if you tell us how much you owe. And he says, I owe hundreds of thousands.
I mean, what were they expecting him to end that sentence with? I owe hundreds of dollars. We'll sort that. We'll put together. Done.
That was easy. And he says it's worse because I went through a third party for interest. And if, in case you were wondering, they just showed a picture of Anna Kiefer at that point. You went, oh, cool. So it's totally in stacks. Got it.
I did love that. That's like your pet peeve with WWE forever. Like, just in case there goes. It's like, who should we shoot? Oh, her.
Yeah. The one from the place.
Tell you what, I really hope, like football clubs, maybe
She can chase you as well.
Well,
Well,
do you think maybe?
they've got a vested interest, haven't they? So she's probably been, her job at the moment is to keep an eye on this.
What
Make sure
did
it's earning?
football teams sometimes, soccer teams, sorry for our American listeners, sometimes to make a little bit of extra money, sell the naming rights to their stadium.
Ugh.
So you've got like the
Sports Direct Arena. Ugh.
exactly rather than St James's Park or Kit Kat Crescent was one of my favourites, of course.
Who's that?
Rotherham.
Although, weirdly, when Bolton opened the Reebok Stadium, you did just sort of get used to that.
Yeah.
It was Reebok from Jump, isn't it? Like, it's changed now, and that feels off.
Yeah.
York City. I do apologise.
Kit Kat Crescent.
Not that anymore.
That must have hurt.
Not the best initials either.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty close. Like, what the hell were they thinking?
Yeah.
Or, of course, the SMH Group Stadium. Chesterfield's.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Stephanie McMahon Helmsley.
I'm really worried. It's shaking my head, isn't it? And I'm like, we might be 12 points clear at Christmas. Let's not do this, guys, please.
Oh, you don't want to be 12 points clear at Christmas.
No. So what if, to sort of defer some of the payments, Chase U becomes Chase Poo? That's why Anna Kiefer's there.
Sponsorship, branding, new, like the poo
They
emoji
always-
instead of the U. Poo emoji, JSU t-shirts.
They're always after a front, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're always after a front. Legitimate enterprise.
Waste management, Chase Poo. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's listening, we have an in with Chesterfield's primary sponsor,
Yes, Lean Gate Valves.
Leangate Valves. Can we somehow work this out that we can get the team to come out to Style and Grace? Like, it was a successful entrance for Stephanie McMahon those years.
See what I can do. He says, anyway, I took out a loan I can't pay back. Me and Chase, you were in a compromising position, but I got them into this mess and I'll get them out of it. And he says, Duke's like, I'm not selling my bloody trophy, but is there anything else we can do, Mr. Chase? And some idiot suggests a bake sale. Some other doofus suggests a car wash. Meanwhile, JC Jane is hand in the air, doesn't pick her.
You instantly know through the utterly generic tropes of television and sitcoms and the like that she's got an absolute ripper of an idea.
Yeah, the one.
The one. The one.
I just wish there was...
Wrestle, our first jobs.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to speculate on this on the preview next week as to what the idea could be. Or we'll just formulate our
Maybe
own
she
ideas.
could go like this.
Yeah.
I've got something, Mr. Chase. Yeah, I'm all ears. We're already in kind of an academic institution where we learn how to wrestle and be good at it. It's called the Performance Center. We don't have a need for a Chase University.
Let's not get too far. But there's a third person who basically...
Third person.
There's someone else who suggests effectively doing a crash course on how to avoid a financial crisis, which feels a little bit,
Well, again, we're going to Shawn Michaels' career from when he had to work for JBL.
Yes.
But never mind all that, Sige, because whilst this guy's talking, birds are chirping, romantic music's playing, and Thea Hale is lost. JC Jane has to snap her out of it.
What she lost in the eyes of the hunk.
We're getting a romance storyline. I f***ing love this place.
I was saying to Wilborn earlier today, I could hear him go, because what could possibly in his head, and look at it, what could possibly in his mind be better than a storyline on NXT involving Chase U, a romantic subplot within it.
Yeah, a Chase U wedding.
But I'm already asking questions about this guy. Does he have Thea Hale's best interests at heart?
Because at this point, we really trust that JC Jane does.
Yes.
So it's like,
Unless JC Jane's brought him in, and that's her brother.
oh my God, Thea Hale.
Jason
wants us-
Jane.
Jason
Jason
Jane,
Jane.
amazing.
That's incredible.
I'm not sure I can
Can't
continue
wait to see this
podcast.
play out.
Anyway, Chase says he's confident they can get through it together. Trix back there with Mello going, what the hell was that about? Mello's like, what are you talking about? I saw the NXT Anonymous video. And Mello's like, I'm kind of busy. I've got last chance qualifier. Trix like, I need answers now. And Mello goes, no. And leaves. Lexis King is talking about how his Twitter's been bopping off. Everyone says he should be worried, but I'm not. People are talking about how I'm going to interfere, but I wouldn't do that to my friend. We aren't besties, but we'll be on the same page soon. I know Mello doesn't miss. Neither do I. Good luck, Mello. I love it when a plan comes together.
Just hanging out here on my throne, got tiny balls on my beard. It's funny, and I like Lexus.
I quite like
He's
Lexus
funny.
King.
He's a stupid idiot. I really like him.
Then we got Eddie Thorpe. His ribs are still buggered, but he's hoping to get in the match and get revenge on Dijak. We'll see how that one plays out. It is Eddie Thorpe, Mello,
It's the main event.
Joe Coffey. Not quite. Main event was the sit down between Ilya and Baron Corbin, of course. And it's Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, Eddie Thorpe, Carmelo Hayes. Joe Coffey immediately attacks Eddie Thorpe because he's got the taped up ribs. Hayes cuts him off. There's Bate and Coffey in there. Coffey swings Bate. Hayes comes in, springboard, spinning clothesline to Eddie Thorpe. Everyone goes to the corner. Thorpe hits a double high crossbody to take everyone down. We go to a break. When we come back, Thorpe's trying to steal a cover on Bate. Coffey makes the save. Thorpe hits a brain buster with coffee saving bait this time. I think that's what I said last time. Thorpe goes to the floor.
Who cares? It was every 4-way match you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, it was the same as the opener, but worse.
Eddie Thorpe gets hit with a spine buster onto the steps, and that kind of takes him out of this. We get back in the ring. Hayes hits a top rope sunset flip to Coffee. There's a code breaker on Bait for 2. Coffee knocks Mello out of the air. Bait grabs a
After flying nothing.
Bait grabs a Tyler Driver 97, pins Joe Coffey. He qualifies for Deadline and says he's the final man going to Deadline. Normally about peace and tranquility, but screw all that.
Yeah, kind of cross watching this. That's sort of that meant to be that frenzied sequence at the end. Just Carmelo Hayes doing a flying nothing, and then at which point, all right, doing something really unnecessary usually gets you a kick to the face. Right, well, I'm Tyler Bates, so I'm going to go like this into the ropes. Just punch people in the face, you know what I mean? It was so wacky and contrived, and like this style of wrestling at its best is just absolutely exhilarating. It's so contrived and charmless at its worst, and increasingly I've seen so much of it that I'm just watching it, just like this.
Tyler Bates is one of the worst offenders for our good wrestling problem, I think. Whatever his act is, it's to feel memorable and special, and that's gone. Like not just
my eyes start to hurt.
Yeah, I think he's one of the worst offenders because Tyler Bate does that sort of thing that you should. Like Carmelo Hayes, I just don't think really has it. But Tyler Bate does stuff that you should care more about because you remember once that you did. It's all been lost.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it's all been lost. Like nothing happens in his matches that feels magic or special or anything anymore.
I love Dijak.
Yeah.
Because he comes out here. I want him to win.
He was brutal.
I want him to win.
Pleasingly brutal in this match.
He comes out and says, Tyler Bate, you're as delusional as Eddie Thorpe, right? And Eddie Thorpe's been helped to the back by officials. He just goes, 1 second. Kicks Eddie Thorpe. And I was like, I love you. I want you to win the whole thing. Get that trash out of here. And he says, Bate, you're a big, strong boy with a big, strong heart that's working overdrive. You think you're actually going to win the bloody match on Saturday? Break, I've got a chance, actually. Here comes Brown Breaker. No idea what you're in for come Saturday. You better hope and pray I'm the last entrant, because otherwise you're all going to the penalty box. God, I love me a penalty box. Probably safest place to be, if anything. Here comes Josh Briggs, who says, God damn it. He says, shut up, Bron, basically, because everyone's like, who's this? You know, what the hell are you doing here? He says he's been underestimated. He's been waiting his whole damn life. Now he's bidding on himself. And Bron says, you're stupider than you look. And then here comes Trick Williams. He says, I'm not in the mood for this. Crowd are chanting, whoop that Trick. And he says, you're going to whoop everybody, basically, in a big brawl. Kicks off. Because Dijak says you should be whooping your best mate.
Yeah. You know.
Words.
What can you possibly say about this?
Never forget Dijak. Just excuse me 1 second. Good.
Dijak was funny. Is Brooks going to inadvertently cost Briggs? Oh my God. Is this are we hitting the beginning of the end?
I have noticed that of the 3, there are 2 in the respective Iron Survivor matches, and poor Jensen, he's just got his dick in his hands.
Yeah.
So that seems... I've taken note of that.
Is that the deadline? It's got to come before the end of the show. And the other 2 are rest. Oh no! They've got a screen in the corner. You can press a red button. Who's watching?
No, I did it before the show, guys. I did it before the show again.
Anyway, who's on a blast off? I mean, kick off.
I want to see your penalty box. Mello's talking to HBK's assistant. Sorry, Ava. She hasn't got certain
Who's
extras.
rating the NXT jack off?
Trick walks up and says, did you text Lexus King to take me out? Mello's like, no, of course not. Trick's like, I know it wasn't you in my heart of hearts. He says, I'll prove it. I'll have a match with Lexus King at Deadline. And Ava's like, got it.
I'll prove it. Have a look at my texts. No, I'll fight him.
Vic runs down their Deadline card. So excited for Saturday. And then it's time for the main event with the 2 contenders for the world title. go-home segment that I suppose Ilya would describe as...
Very entertaining.
I do like it when you morph into Ilya Georgiev. Like,
Very weird.
Corbin says, I'll go first. So he says, no, you're not. You turn this match into something more than a title. A title, by the way, you've not won. You failed to win before. You targeted my family. You can mock my accents, but you mock my family.
Who would do that?
You mock my family. Huh? You mock my family. That crossed the line. Corbin's like, all I hear is excuses. You could have brought your family. There's always a way. And I was kind of like, kind of got a point. Got a great point, Ilya. They're all excuses, just so you can tell yourself that as you're sleeping in an empty apartment, you're doing to your son what your dad did to you. Ilya's so angry, he takes off his tie. He says, I'm trying to contain myself.
this is so funny. Boiling kettle of a man just...
I'm dealing with NXT's maddest man. He says, I've got to contain myself because if I unleash it now instead of Saturday, there'll be no match at NXT Deadline. Corbin will leave in an ambulance and he won't be able to take that title to add to his material possessions. You materialistic son of a bitch. Corbin says, it's not about material possessions. For you, it's just a title defense, but for me, it's validation. I like this promo from Corbin. He said, I've been on TV for 8+ years. I'm taking what's mine. People have seen me. I've gone through everything, sort of thing. Your blood's boiling. You're about to lose it. You miss your son. Your son misses you. Well, if it's about family, why don't you do something about it right now? And he's sort of moved the table and set it up. And Ilya shoves the table. Corbin says, that's it. Come on. He's walked through the fire and back. He'll do it again. He'll make it easy. Sets up the table in the corner. He turns his back. That's when he sets up the table. Turns his back to Ilya. Do it for your family. You're a coward. And Ilya turns Corbin around and hugs him instead, saying the only one that can destroy the dragon is the dragon himself. And Corbin's like, what the hell's going on here?
No, good question.
I have no idea.
Very good question.
Ilya laughs.
Is he going to RKO himself at some point?
And then here come all the INTV competitors. Big brawl. Bron Spears, Trick, and Briggs, I think, through the table. Bate, clothesline, Dijak. Tyler Bate stood tall at the end.
The hug was so funny, but I was distracted by how they realised, we need the microphone closer to Ilya to hit that closing line. So they're trying to do this very intense, strange hug. And then, you can just see the arm going, dragon! Because the first bit of the line was missed.
Dragon!
He's just such a freak.
It's weird, isn't he? It's like, oh, God, Ilya's about.
It's Ilya coming out.
He's not invited to the NXT Christmas party.
He's not. Nobody wants him for Secret Santa. Would you just get him? What about it? Open this box and just punch to the face.
I love it. Yeah, you just put a box on your hand.
Just what I asked for.
What have I got? It's a normal present. Thank goodness. You want to share your thoughts on this?
No. I mean, how
Give him a normal hug.
What was it?
I don't know. They love how intense he is and just like to play with that, I guess. Even before the hug, that sort of stood still. Mate, I'm really ready. Just how ready.
I was gonna say, if I'd managed to get myself a title match against Ilya Dragunov and they said you can pick any stipulation, I immediately would pick First Blood because you nick that little vein. It's in every John Cena image when he's like, oh, and he's covered in blood.
Good job.
Oh.
Right, okay. It's a good job. Ilya Dragunov doesn't have house rules, isn't it?
It's just so odd.
Apartment rules. He doesn't live in a
It's a
house.
very, very odd thing. If we've reached the point now in the character arc of Ilya Dragunov where he was so starved for affection and the love of his family, who are thousands upon thousands of miles away, that he's now hugging his sort of nemesis. Just get him on a plane. Just get the poor guy on a plane. This has gone on long enough, and let him see his family. And then guess what? You can take a second plane and go back, and then defend his championship.
That's going to be the closing image of NXT Deadline, isn't it? They're going to be like, surprise, your family
Sean
came to celebrate
sent his
Christmas
family.
with you.
Because they've spotted, because Zeitgeist Heist, they've spotted that the Cilla Black stuff was going hog wild on X. So it's like, surprise, it's your family, Ilya.
He's playing on the Von cord. Surprise. Actually, what would Von Wagner's managers sound like doing Cilla Black? Yes, it would work really well, this.
Surprise.
The unexpected hit you between the eyes, man.
Where? I despise. Demeaning myself.
Oh, that's been the NXT review.
It always is.
Another home run.
Let us know your thoughts on NXT in the comment section. At What Culture WWE. Watch, they can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett.
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilbur. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. A much more serious preview of AEW Dynamite coming your way later on today, possibly with the spooky girls. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamlet, this week to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.